Hello, this is Thom Ellenbecker with Team USA. Today I'll provide to you the Cyber Operations and Risk Management briefing related to the 5I conference and the recent incidents occurring there. In terms of an agenda, we will cover the identification of software assurance needs and expectations of Team USA, description of the key attributes of the current software development lifecycle, supply chain risks, vulnerabilities in existing software options to meet the Team USA's needs, evaluation and recommendations of the Team USA software options, evaluation and recommendations for the supply chain, explanation of costs, and recommended contract language to ensure operational security. Section 1, identification of the software assurance needs and expectations. Team USA has established that as a federal entity, risk assessment, mitigation, and avoidance is the primary need of the organization. Appendix 1 contains an itemized list of software development methodologies and the associated impact on software assurance needs. Given a thorough review of the material, Team USA recommends continuing to leverage the spiral methodology. This topic is discussed further in the next section. Section 2, description of the key attributes of the current software development lifecycle, or SDLC. Several methodologies exist to manage the development of the software over its lifecycle. This lifecycle includes initial requirements, definitions, coding and development, review and modification, ongoing maintenance, and finally, sunsetting, or end-of-life processing of obsolete software. The spiral methodology puts significant emphasis on risk assessment and arranges the previous lifecycle pieces into 4 phases. These phases include determining objectives, alternatives, and constraints of the iteration, evaluate alternatives, identify and resolving risks, 3, develop and verify deliverables for the iteration, and 4, plan for the next iteration. The spiral methodology is most appropriate for addressing the needs of Team USA. This methodology's most basic principle is focus on risk assessment and on minimizing project risk. Furthermore, this methodology is useful in helping select the best methodology to follow for development of a given software iterations. Essentially, this methodology minimizes risks, allowing for an iterative approach to solving the problem, and provides flexibility in adapting subsequent workflows. Section 3, identification of known supply chain risks. Since supply chain risk represents an attack vector that malicious actors can utilize to disrupt operations, the motivations behind supply chain disruptions mirror the motivations of malicious actors in general. There are 6 key threats to supply chains given by hacktivism: corporate espionage, government-directed terrorism, criminal activity, and nature. The motivations behind this activity are diverse as well, but typically fall into categories of actors who want to profit, embarrass, or otherwise interrupt the normal operations of an enterprise effort. Section 4, identification of vulnerabilities in existing software. Specific to the 5I ransomware attack, the Team USA SITREP 1 report provided in its entirety in Appendix 2 points to both phishing emails and an Excel macro command as the threat vectors and vulnerabilities leveraged to instigate the attack. In non-emergency situations, Team USA relies upon the vendor community, US CERT, and regular patching of software platforms to identify, mitigate, and resolve vulnerabilities. Sections 5 and 6, identification and then evaluation and recommendation for Team USA's software options. In response to the ransomware attack, Team USA has identified a continued need to leverage intrusion detection and protection systems, known as IDS/IPS, a security event and incident management software, also known as SIEM, S-E-I-M, and email scrubbing platforms to provide active protection against threats. In addition, tool sets that allow for packet capture, hash password cracking, and de-encryption of ciphertext should all be on hand as well. These tools are necessary to help avoid any zero-day exploits that get past preventive security measures. For specific tools, Team USA recommends continued investment in the Fortinet series of the IDS/IPS systems. For SIEM, the Splunk software platform will meet cybersecurity needs by enabling rules set to be created based upon intelligence correlations of events. These tools are necessary to help quickly identify and isolate zero-day exploits, minimizing mission impacts to downtime and lost productivity. A series of forensic software platforms also require continued investment. The steps delineated in SetRep 1 identify Wireshark, OPH Crack, RSecret, and RSecret as software toolsets integral to reverse engineering the ransomware attacks. These and similar tools should be budgeted for to enable Team USA to recover from any malicious activity that slips past our defense. The return on investment is seen in both increased productivity and uptime, as well as the avoidance of paying ransom fees. Section 7, Evaluation and Recommendations for the Team USA supply chain. To secure supply chains and increase Team USA's cybersecurity posture, Team USA recommends the following actions with rationale. Number 1, authenticate against software authors. Any procured software can be readily downloaded and authenticated against the software author's own public cryptographic signatures. This not only gives a high confidence as to the source of the software, but how ubiquitously the various code releases are being distributed and used. More narrowly released, distributed, or utilized code should be cause for concern and flagged. This process should be implemented for all software and subsequent support updates. Number 2, require authorization secrets. To protect against complacency and system drift and to help augment ongoing system audits and patching, all software systems and tools should have a timestamp certificate to authenticate and authorize their ongoing use. In this way, compromised or old machines cannot be leveraged for malicious use beyond the certificate's validity if not discovered sooner. Number 3, upgrade-only methodology. Toolsets that facilitate systems upgrades and patches should be configured to only allow software upgrades. This protects against a malicious attacker successfully rolling back to an earlier, though potentially approved software version that allows for attack vectors that are considered eliminated and resolved. And then finally, suppliers. Any procurement or contractor should be designed to get our immediate suppliers to reveal who their downstream suppliers are. While this may not be possible at all times, it is crucial to gain this insight to ensure that seemingly separate supply chains are in fact separate. Section 8, explanation of costs related to recommendations. Given the recommendations in Section 6 and 7 above, there will be costs incurred by Team USA. These costs are both direct and indirect. Direct costs will result from licensing required to procure commercial off-the-shelf products. Indirect costs will apply to personnel, training, and management resources required to effectively run the software systems that are procured. An additional cost USA leadership should plan on is the increased technical expertise in our legal department. See Section 9 for more details. Section 9, recommended contract language to ensure operational security. To ensure operational security, Team USA's legal team should incorporate the supply chain guidance from Step 7 into contract language. This includes requiring delivery of procured products with a software author's signature, platform integration with authorization timeouts, and language that requires the disclosure of downstream suppliers where feasible. Furthermore, with the advent of blockchain technology being utilized to both procure and deploy software, legal teams will need to vet this additional language. This is a new form of contracting referred to as smart contracts in the industry. It will drive additional complexity and technical capability into our legal teams. Finally, if there are no other questions, I appreciate your time, and hopefully this was a useful presentation. Thank you so much.